I think everyone knows me here. I'm Steve Barber, member of this church. I'm also a director at Ready to Work. And I'm really glad to see you all turn out today to hear a little bit more about Ready to Work. I'd like to introduce you to Marlo Alston, councilwoman. She's councilwoman for City of Centennial. And she is also our community relations specialist at Bridge House. And she is here today to basically give you a presentation of Bridge House on a larger perspective and also answer any questions that you have today. Well,
thank you. Good blessed morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. As our esteemed board director, Mr. Steve Barber stated, I'm the community relations manager with Ready to Work Aurora, our overall organization, Bridge House. And I just wanted to take some time to go through a couple of slides with you. I am semi-formal with my presentations, which means, please, if you have a question as I'm going through this, don't wait to the end. Interact with me. I'm very interactive. I like to address any questions that you may have as we move forward, and I'll also be around afterwards. So I have a few flyers that I'd like for you to take a look at. It's regarding volunteering, becoming a mentor with our program. And as you will be able to determine by my presentation, because of people like Mr. Barber and his lovely wife and people with First Plymouth, we are able to do the work that we do. And so it's very necessary that I'm here to spread the good word, so to speak, about all the great things that we're doing. So one of the things that I printed out for everyone, before I get started in talking about Ready to Work and our little thank you, our little piece of the pie when it comes to working with those that are homeless and transitioning out of homeless. I like for people to understand why what we do is so important. In the state of Colorado, there's a survey called Point in Time Survey. And what that is people in the state of Colorado, different organizations, government entities, they go out and they count the number of people that are on the streets or in shelters or transitional houses like Ready to Work. So that number that is on there, Steve, can I please get one? I think it's 787. So this is the snapshot from last year, 2022. Every year this survey is done. So what this is saying is they counted 782 unhoused individuals in the state. Does that account for everyone? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Everyone is not counted in this. You have people, say you have that grandson, granddaughter, that's coming from your couch to going to the cousin's house, that's at the friend's house on the floor. Technically homeless. That is a form of homelessness. People don't identify that. They're not counted. And so people like that or organizations that did not do the survey are not counted in these numbers. However, this is a good snapshot of the number of people. It also breaks down the number of adults, and if you flip over, it also identifies the ages of the individuals. On page 2, if you look, it says that there were 395 adults ages 25 to 54 that were counted in the survey. These are people that would benefit from a program like Ready to Work. And as I move into my slideshow, you will be able to determine why they would benefit from us and why it is so important that we get the word out about the great things that we're doing in our organization. It also breaks down the male-female ratio and the races of each individual. How do they identify? Some people don't want to disclose. Do I identify as Black, African American? Do I identify as Latino, non-Hispanic? So again, these are numbers just to give you an idea of the third of the population that we try to capture in our program. Every program does not accept everyone. There are limits on who we accept into our program because of the way that we're structured, which we'll go into now. Additionally, I have another printout here that identifies the number of homeless individuals that were identified in the point in time survey. That tells, were they disabled? Did they have a mental health issue? What type of issue did they identify? In our program, again, we only accept a certain type or certain population into our program because of the structure. And I can pass this around to you guys. Here. So the point in time survey is done every year in January. And so we'll be looking to do another one the first of 2024.
Now, this is for something called the balance of state, which sounds like it means everybody except the Denver metro area. So it's like,
The Denver metro area is actually counted in here.
is it? Okay.
Yes, but they're separated. Let's see, but I give you that.
Doesn't look,
Maybe I didn't give you the one that had their numbers on here.
right.
And so, yes, the counties that are represented in here are Adams, Arapahoe. There is one, and I apologize, I thought I gave you the one that has Denver, the city of Denver and the county of Denver. So it may have excluded them from here, from this particular one.
Yeah.
But Arapahoe, Adams, Douglas, et cetera, are all included in this survey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you go to,
That seems like such a low number, 787.
it is, and as I stated, everyone is not included in it, but give me just a second and I can tell you where you can definitely find. It's a low number. However. 22. It's a lot. So if you go to the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, it tells you the numbers of the point in time survey. And it is Colorado's balance of state continuum of care. And so those are where those numbers come from. And they're very factual numbers. So
When did you start taking these statistics like this?
the state has been doing them for a while. I have been aware of them doing it for at least the last 4 years. When I really honed in, two of my passions, and the reason I do this, whether it's with Ready to Work or as an elected official, is mental health and homelessness. I work with this on a daily basis. There isn't a time that you're not engaged in the numbers or a spectrum of what's happening with our unhoused community.
Did this come out of the University of Denver? Because I know they did one survey 10 years ago now, and I don't know if it's the same, in a system,
It's different. This is, yes, the University of Denver does do a study. However, this is Colorado Coalition for Homeless, which is a different organization. And you can also go to point in time survey where it is also done here, which includes the city and county of Denver. And I'm just pulling up the website because I want you guys to see here, because Denver would definitely bring those numbers up. But because we're here in Arapahoe County, I like to stick with those. But if you go to the website for MDHI, that gives you a larger number that definitely includes Denver, which takes our numbers into the thousands.
Yeah.
And that's Metro Denver Homeless Initiative. So if we're gonna look at the Denver population, we can definitely bring that number up. But because again, we're in Arapahoe County and the surrounding area, I like to present on these numbers because Denver takes it to a whole nother level. But Denver numbers of those, according to their website, was 6,884 people experiencing homelessness in the 7-county metro continuum of care. So Denver definitely brings it up to a different level.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about Arapahoe County, Denver, that's not Arapahoe County. So again, I present the numbers based on this because if I talked about Denver, it would take us into a whole other world.
Yeah, because about 10 years ago, I saw that I was with the Coalition of Homeless when they
Mhm,
presented the University of Denver. I was
Yes.
thinking,
mhm.
there's thousands. That's why I thought I can't believe
No,
it. It gets
No, no,
worse.
no.
but-
no, just like I said, just for Arapahoe County and the cities in Arapahoe County that we're looking at. And so we can look at 2 different websites and I'd be more than happy to discuss that, but our organization doesn't always deal with Denver numbers, but we accept people out of Denver. The program. So I just wanted to give you some numbers, basically factual numbers on the point in time survey and the number of people that are unhoused in our communities here locally. And the understanding that our Ready to Work Aurora House only houses 50 individuals. We have 50 beds. So if you're looking at 700 plus individuals that are unhoused, just for the Aurora House, we have 50 beds. In our Boulder House, we have 44. We'll be expanding into our Englewood location, which will have 50 beds. That's still nowhere near enough beds to cover the need that we have here in Arapahoe County. So our mission, as we learned this morning during your service, you have to have a mission. You have to have a vision. Our mission is to be unstoppable in the face of homelessness. How do you do that? What do people need? We have a pretty successful model with what people need that are coming out of homelessness. What does that look like? There's a 3-stool model that we believe has successfully worked with Ready to Work Aurora and Bridge House. Bridge House, we have 3 different types of pods. We have our Ready to Work program, which is here in Aurora, and we'll be opening up in Englewood, and we also have a place in Boulder. Community Table Kitchen, which I won't talk about too much, that is only located in Boulder in basic needs. What is Ready to Work? It is a sustainable works program. Our program is a work model. In order to be in our program, the individual needs to be able to work. If they are able to work, they're able to earn money and they're able to pay bills and get back to society. So again, every model, every organization is different. Our model is a work first model. It's not a housing first model. Even though in our model, you get paid work, you get housing, and you get the supportive services that you need. But number 1 is you need to be able to work. If you're not able to get into our program, we have referral partners that we work with in the community, other organizations, because again, we do not accept children, families, but we do have partners that we work with that we can refer those people to so that they can get the assistance that they need. And again, a third of the adults is who we're targeting because we cannot help everyone. But it's important that we work with people like yourself so that you can tell other people about our program and we can work together to refer those that need to be helped to come out of homelessness. Employment. That's where Miss Stella comes into play. When I'm out talking to people like yourself and passing out flyers like that, talking about, we need volunteers, we need you to go back to your employers, your family, your friends, and say, hey, we have this great organization, they're a work first model. We can hire them to do some landscaping. Who's cleaning up the parks? Who's out there working in the church grounds? Who's out there doing that? So we need people like you to help us with that first step, which is paid transitional work in our social enterprise. We have two. And the first one is landscaping, which is what we do out of our Aurora house, and we do it out of our Englewood location. And then we also have our social enterprise where we have our kitchen and our Daytonians brownies, which is again located out of our Boulevard location. In our program, they are able to work. Most of the people in our program, they have Medicaid. And so they're only allowed to work a certain amount of hours so that they don't lose their benefits. They're working up to 29 hours a week. And so with that, they're gaining those skills so that they're able to go out into the community to do the jobs that they need to do. In order for them to be prepared to go out there, they have to get their resumes together. They need to practice their interviewing skills. And that's where I believe Teresa at the time came to the church and she presented. And now she's the employment specialist. She will work with them on their resumes. She will work with them on their interviewing skills and things of that nature. So we have individual caseworkers that help people in our program, part of the supportive services, to help them to get ready for that next level when they're ready to go out and interview and start working a regular 40-hour per week job towards the end of the program. Housing, again, 50 beds in Aurora, 44 beds in Boulder. We will be expanding into our third location. We just had our groundbreaking. Director, thank you for being there. Just had our groundbreaking earlier this month, and we will have another 50 beds where we will be able to help more people. Oh, and it's important to note, they do get paid employment, as we stated. However, at a certain point, they're learning how to pay rent. So they are paying rent while they're living there. So work, housing, supportive services. This is our ready to work house up there on the left-hand side. This is where everyone does everything out of this building. My office is right up here. And that's Mr. Gregg's truck. And so this is the actual house where everyone is. Men are on one floor, women are on another floor. Again, we don't have families in this building, we refer out. They do have families, they're able to come there and visit them. They also have people that come in to mentor, to volunteer. Everything is done out of this building. This is the kitchen in Boulder. And so, as you can tell, they have a nice commercial sized kitchen where they're able to make meals and they serve them to the community out there. This is what the living area looks like. And this is what their bedrooms look like. It's dormitory style. They have their beds, they have their dressers, their televisions, their own personal space. Support. I need support. There isn't anything that I do that I do not need support. I have a 1-year-old grandson, 13 months, as some people count the months. He's 13 months. When I have him, I need my husband to support me sometimes because I'm like, babe, I really do need to go and do this and I can't do it with a co-op. And so everyone needs support. I am not one that thinks that anyone can get through this life without someone else. And so support comes in many ways. They have their meetings, they have a financial advisor. We have a bank that comes in and has been just tremendous. They help sponsor events. They come in and help them with financial literacy. We have their mental health and supports team that helps them. We have places and churches that come in, like First Plymouth, that works out in the garden and teach them about recycling. So support comes in many, many ways. I am always open to listening to what do you think that looks like to present to caseworkers, to present to the program director. Because again, I'm out here in the community and I'm listening, and whatever we can do to help people get to the next level is what we're doing. But again, mentors, help follow them after graduation. We need people like yourself. So in saying that, this is what our model looks like. The three-stool model: work, support, housing. That's what we offer. That's different than organizations. Some organizations may have housing and have people come into that house and just do everything for them. We're very different in that way. We want them to know that they are valuable members of society. Yes, we do need people to come into the house, but we also want them to get out into the community and be comfortable with getting on the bus and going to their doctor's appointments, getting on the bus, going to that dentist appointment, getting on the bus and going to work. So that is what we're doing. Yes, housing is important. Yes, supportive services are important, and work is definitely important. However, all three of them together is what we offer, and not everyone offers that in one model, and that's what we do that makes us unique. And not only that, we can never forget that they're getting paid, because there is nothing that we can do, very little that we can do without income of some sort to make you feel whole. Whether it's going out and buying a bag of chips, whether it's going to the dollar store and picking up a pair of socks. We're giving them that support and that encouragement and that humanity of being able to have a part in how they will continue to live. These are some impact numbers showing what it looked like in 2022 for our program. The number of graduates, the success rate, the number of hours, meals provided, and hours. The hours again are pretty stagnant, stable when it comes to labor hours, because again, they have a certain amount of hours that they have to work and that they are permitted to work legally. And so the success rate with Ready to Work Aurora, 70% graduates out of our program. And then we follow them a year after graduation with our aftercare. Make sure that they're staying employed, making sure that they still have food on their table, make sure that they're still in a place of their own, that they are sustaining life. And out of that 7%, say at 13 months, they need to come back for additional support. We don't turn our backs on them. The door is open. And while they're in the program, we don't turn our backs on them. People sometimes fall off. They may go out and have a drink and they come back and their breathalyzer is not clear. We don't kick them out that first time. We believe in giving them a second chance. How many chances do they need? I don't know. But we're not going to turn our back on them. And if it gets to a point where we can't help them, we have referral partners. So community, you may ask, why should we support you? What does it look like? You're giving me these numbers, you're telling me about what you do. However, immediately, what does that do? Well, they're no longer on the street and they're no longer in a shelter. This is their house. And when people come to our house, whether it's volunteering, whether it's to provide services, respect them. During COVID, people wanted to come to the house. It was not safe. People wanted to come to the door. COVID is not real. I don't want to wear a mask. Well, this is their house and this is the rule. So thank you for wanting to come, but no, thank you. And so immediately we're taking them off the streets. Immediately they're going back into the workforce. Immediately they're going to the store because they're getting paid employment and they're paying taxes when they go to the store and they purchase things. They're engaging. They're not that person that's on the corner that when you're at the stoplight saying, oh my God, please don't come to my window. Is it safe for me to give them $1? We tell our people that is not acceptable. So immediately you see a difference in what we're doing and how we're encouraging and uplifting people. Long term, again, we're following them. We're making sure that they stay employed and housed and fed.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so they're being trained mostly landscape and food service?
Yes, ma'am. However, they can do other things. It's not just that. So when they're out working with the employment specialists, they can be getting trained to work at a corporation that's manufacturing or plumbing or in an office, whatever the case may be. But this is our social enterprise, landscaping and food service.
I'm just thinking, how can they support themselves once they leave here? I mean, that's not much of an income.
Yes, and that's when towards month 7, they're working with the employment specialists and working on those skills. But during the beginning of the program, if someone has been on the streets for months, years, or couch surfing and not keeping stable employment, they have to get groomed again to hear that alarm clock, to get up, to clean, to bathe, to do all of these things and still get out the door in enough time to get to work in a respectable time. So the premise is we're going to teach you how to do all these things. And then when we get to month 6, 7, we're working on your resume so that you can go to these organizations and be a good employee so that you're able to sustain them. But to put them into or to jeopardize even another organization and say, we have people in our building, hire them, but they're not ready. So how do you promote someone to an organization and you know that they're not ready?
Sure.
They're not going to get up in time. They may get up at 10 o'clock. And that's not acceptable in our program. And so that's why, and the goal is for them to make a
The
budget.
preparation is really what you're about.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was curious.
I was just gonna say references, Marla, if I could make a comment.
yes,
Yeah, there are certain, like, Ready to Works program takes people who, in a lot of cases, haven't worked for years. Don't even have the basic understandings of what that means to work with 2 other individuals because they've just been surviving in whatever form of life has taken them. So that's the step that Ready to Work takes. There are other organizations like Cross Purpose, which is an organization that takes folks and then trains them for higher skill sets, apprenticeships, gets them into college or gets them technical training. And so, but they won't take someone who doesn't have housing.
mhm,
An organization like Cross Purpose says, I'm sorry, you don't meet our application, but Ready to Work will partner with them so that our graduates are now, and it's actually it shows where the slot is for Ready to Work to help people who haven't worked for that long time get to that next step to get ready.
that is correct. And we
Did
do.
that sort of answer your?
Yeah, hence the name.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And again, we work with, those are our community partners. Every program is different. They won't accept people that we accept. There is another organization that accept people directly out of Department of Corrections. that could have any type of charge on their record. We, again, are very selective. We do not select people that have arson on their record or sexual assault. So every program is different, and we have to work together in this continuum to make sure that whoever it is and whatever that need is, that we're able to help them. And we're only helping it, but small portion.
Oh, someone else. I just wondered how do people find you? I mean, you obviously don't go in street corners.
We do. We
You
do.
go to corners and say you want to work.
We do.
Yes.
I mean, how does that work? I mean, and then there's a vetting process, like you said, you don't take everybody, and Stella mentioned that too in her thing.
Yes,
Slide
so
again and again.
we do, the caseworkers do outreach. And so that is what they do. They go out, they have the trifold. Actually, I have one, and I was gonna give it out to you guys. I had trifolds here, and Mr. Barber has been so generous in setting them out for your church ministry. These trifolds are specifically for individuals that are on street corners.
Oh, I see.
This is very different than what I put on your chairs. We're trying to reach two different audiences. This right here tells them why they should come to our program. It's everything that we've been preaching. Paid work, you have safe shelter, you're gonna get the supportive services that you need. Whether it's alcohol abuse, whether it's drugs, whatever it is, we're gonna help you. So we are going to those corners. I am talking to different organizations and I'm giving them information that they can give to people to refer to us. So we are reaching those people that are definitely on the street. Now, what I learned when I was first hired, one of my coworkers said to me, Miss Marlowe, I said, there are people around our house. Why aren't they in our program? Simple question. We're right here off of Parker and I-225. There's, I don't know if you've ever been in that area. You see it on the news. Tons of people out there homeless. I said, why aren't they here? We have beds, some openings here. Everyone doesn't want to be in a program. It's less. All the research that I'm doing, all the policy, all the everything. Why wouldn't you want to be here? My number one thing is safety, 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 mental health and homelessness. Everyone needs to be safe. She said, come on, let's walk back there. So I changed my shoes because I wear heels all the time, but I keep extra shoes in my bag. We walked over to the back of the building. And there was some people back there. And she said, we have some beds. Talk to them about the program. The gentleman said to her, oh, I know about your program. I'm leaving. I'm going to, I think he said North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm good. But clothes was hanging across our fence. You know, nothing was prepared like you're packing to go somewhere. He didn't want to come to the program. I said, oh, that's just one person. And the other people that were there didn't even want to hear what I had to say or she had to say. So she said, I said, that's just one. That's just one camp right there. She said, okay. So she took me to the other side of the building. Same thing. And I couldn't understand it at first. Could not understand, why didn't you want to come in to this program? I've done research about how many people are out there that are a victim of sexual assault on the street. Why are people on drugs and alcohol? Because they're on the street. They weren't always that way. It's coping. So everyone, we're reaching out to them, but they're not ready. They can come into the program, and the first step when they come in is the intern. They go through a vetting process so that we can see, one, do they meet the criteria? If they meet our criteria and they decide to come into the program, then we have a bed for them. It's different than when they're actually accepted as a trainee. But we give them an opportunity to not only see if they want to be in our program, but for us to determine, is this someone we're gonna be able to keep? Are they gonna work? Are they gonna stop drinking? Are they gonna stop trying to do drugs and be sneaky? Everyone's not ready. So we are definitely out there reaching those individuals, and when they're ready, we will be here. We're expanding. And we're gonna continue to expand and continue to refer those who we can't help, because we cannot help everyone, but we're definitely gonna try.
Thanks for piggyback something.
Yes,
And a lot of people, when they come in, the ones that are like, okay, I'm tired of living out here on the street, or, oh, it's winter's coming, I need a place to stay. We get a lot of that. And they come in still high and drunk and stuff like that. The hardest part is getting them to go to detox, because it's scary to come down. They haven't came down and been sober in a long time. So getting them to go to detox, like if they come in and they're still blowing numbers on their VA from drugs and alcohol.
what's a BA?
A breathalyzer.
Thank you.
And then UA is your analysis, but we take them to, we partner with Aurora Detox and Denver Cares. And we call them and we get them a bed and we drop them off at detox, and then they call us when they're about to do, and we pick them up. That way we don't miss them on like leaving detox and running into an old friend or a liquor store or something. So we drop them off and then pick them up and bring them right back in and get started on that stuff.
Yes, thank you. And so again, that's where the community partners come in, just on in general. But thank you, Miss Stella.
Yeah.
So people that have come through our program have given testimony on why we were able to help them. I think these are just amazing. And this one right here, we are all human. When you were talking this morning during service, and the diversity and how everyone is part of God's kingdom. And I'm paraphrasing. I love when they feel like we're all human. You speak to them like they're human. You don't speak to them like they're whatever. Less than, yes, less than. Because we have people, again, that were in corporate America. We have people that grew up in the perfect home, mom, dad, siblings. Where are you now? It could be any one of us, but we're all still human. We're all still human. And I think that respecting people and treating them like they're human is key. Talk to them like they're human, like they are adults, like you want them to be treating other people when they go out there. That is what's important. And this is what they're saying. We're going to experience difficulties beyond our control. Wings. And so they may not be able to go and get those jobs in the factory right now, but by 6-7 months and before, we're already preparing them from day one. They do not come in as interns and sit around and look at TV. No, if you come to our house, which I will be welcoming you towards the end of the slide, and do a tour, it doesn't look like what you may think. You're gonna come in, it's gonna smell nice, it's gonna look nice, and that's because this is their home and they're working to keep it nice and clean. So they're getting used to that will of, oh, time to get up, time to clean up the bathroom, time to do, this is what we're doing. We're making them feel blessed. God is making them feel blessed, should I say. And I like to be a blessing. So, in closing, how can you help? First Plymouth, you and your congregation has been such a blessing. And I love when I do presentations in the faith community because I was raised in the church. I was that kid that I don't know if anyone of you know about Prince. He was this singer guy, this little whatever. Yes, I wasn't a Prince fan, but my cousin Angela was a Prince fanatic, and he had a song, and I used to lay hands on her as a kid. Later, I will give you in the name of Jesus. And so I was that kid. And so I am forever grateful to have people like First Plymouth come and just give back to people that need you and to understand your value. And so you are already doing what we need you to do. You selected us once again for your shirt of plate for the month of June. Thank you, because we cannot do it without financial contributions. You come and you volunteer. Thank you. You teach them about Mother Earth. Thank you. As we can tell, I just had an inspector out yesterday and this morning, hail damage. And then you come out and you do the community garden. You come out and you join our board after someone beats you and says, we need you. You have such a strong voice, and we need
I
you.
feel whipped by you.
And then not only did he join the board, he's our new chair for a program. And so you're doing what we need, all the blessings. Just, you have just been there from day one, just about. And so that's what we need. So sponsorship, we're getting ready for fundraisers. I'd love to be able to say, hey, they're going to sponsor decorations for this fundraiser. They're going to sponsor whatever. We haven't got that part yet, Director, I'm just saying. But whatever it is that you feel like you may want to do to help us continue to be successful, I ask that you prayerfully consider that. And so, again, financial donations, in-kind donations. We don't have a lot of storage for a lot of clothes and things of that nature, but specific donation asks that we have for a work first model. We need to make sure that they're protected when they're out in the elements. It's getting ready to, the weather has already changed. We're in summer. We need protective clothing in the winter. We need boots. They have uniforms. They need those khaki pants. They need coats, hats. So specific donations is what we're really intent on. Those are things that help us budget relieving items to help protect them, because they are human and you wouldn't want to go to your job and not be prepared. And this is their job to get them prepared. Finally, again, the 3 locations, Aurora, Boulder, Englewood, coming soon. I'm excited about it. We had a great groundbreaking in June 2nd, and we had tons of people there. Our program is recognized, whether it's from Congress, and thank you for including them in prayer, because we definitely need it, from head of state on down, to our county representatives, to our municipal leaders. We are getting funding from all over to do the work, because it has been proven to be a successful model. We cannot do this work without everyone. There isn't a person in any realm that I could think of that wouldn't have somewhere or something to do. So again, please consider coming, taking a tour, volunteering, signing up to become a mentor in our program. Our CEO, Miss Melissa Green, absolutely amazing. She is a huge part of the organization at the top. Our Director of Clinical Services, John, he's amazing. When I see him, you know how you walk into a room and you just smile when you see someone? That's my smile. He is, I don't know what it is about him, but he is definitely someone who cares about the people in our program. He's over programs in general. He's the director. He's over Paul. Paul was here last week on Father's Day, and happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers. And so Jen is definitely key. Paul is the director in our rural location, and myself. I'm out here in the community and trying to get the word out and get supporters and let people know about the greatness that we've been blessed to do in this small section of Aurora and the surrounding cities. And so that is the end of my presentation, and I'm still here for questions.
Thank you so much.